In 2017, America has seen a major rise in something that many would think was far in the past. Compared to 2016 and many years before, anti-Semitism has been on the rise. MTN's Jack Ginsburg is on special assignment to see how one Montana town has been a model for how to defeat hatred while it's on the rise.
Just a few months ago, a group of white supremacists and neo-Nazis marched on the University of Virginia campus. You will not replace us! You will not replace us! The Torchlight March was a precursor to a rally the next day labeled Unite the Right. Protesters clashed with counter-protesters, and the rally became violent. At the height of the chaos, a white supremacist, James Fields, drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters, killing one woman, Heather Heyer. As shocking as this rally may seem, recent findings show it wasn't as rare for the year 2017. According to the Anti-Defamation League's recent report, 2017 has seen a significant rise in anti-Semitic incidents. From January to September, 1,299 incidents have occurred, compared to 779 in the same time period last year, a 67% increase. Not only have these incidents risen since 2016, but specifically since the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. 306 incidents were reported in July, August, and September, and 221 of those occurred either on August 11th, the day of the rally, or the month following. Just a little under a year ago now, here in the small ski town of Whitefish, Montana, there were talks of a white supremacist group organizing an armed march down Central Avenue on Martin Luther King weekend. After seeing the events unfold in Charlottesville, it posed the question, would we have seen similar incidences of violence and hatred if that rally occurred here in Whitefish?
Watching the events in Charlottesville was terrifying because it was the worst of what we had expected. That someone was killed was horrific.
What started as an attack on a Jewish realty agent spread to the immediate Jewish community and ultimately became a full-on attack on the city of Whitefish. The city immediately started to plan for the worst in case the march happened. The Jewish community began to plan counter-protests, but in a different area, to ensure there was no violence and to steer the attention away from the hate group. City Council member Richard Hildner says the way the community responded was ideal in a difficult situation.
The community really got together and said, this is not who we are. These are not our community values. Our community values are values of inclusion. And I just couldn't be prouder. And people that I've talked to since have said exactly the same thing.
In a state where there are under 2,000 Jews, accounting for under 2% of the population, a city came together and took a stand against hatred.
While it was terrifying and horrifying, we also knew we weren't alone.
Rabbi Rostin received thousands of cards showing support, and the city was presented with a menorah from Jerusalem to honor their courage. Moving forward, the approach that Whitefish took against these attacks is something every community could learn from. Not only standing up to anti-Semitism, but hatred in all forms.
It's important that everyone stand up for each other. We certainly are highlighting what's been happening over this past year or two with rising rates of anti-Semitism, but we need to also all stand up against racism, homophobia, and other forms of bigotry.
In Whitefish, Jack Ginsburg, MTN News.
So far in the first 9 months of 2017, we have seen more anti-Semitic incidents than in all of 2016 combined.